All right, we're back. Sorry about the temporary delay, but I'll just go ahead and kind of start over. It's been a while since we've done something. We've been kind of distracted by some things. But the whole reason I started this channel was to give myself a platform to practice my sportscasting. I'm currently in broadcasting school. And as much as I had all the fun with Inside Sports and Action PC, I decided that I needed something that actually played the game out in front of me, like move by move, that I could call move by move. So I went and got a PS3. I got a Madden game. I got an MLB The Show game. I got all this stuff. And what I've done is I put it on CPU versus CPU for my team matchups, and I've called the game and recorded it. I've got quite a few of these recordings, and I've also prepared a very kind of unique slideshow. So that's how we're going to show you guys the score. That's how we're going to show you guys all that stuff. But yeah, so once we get a little bit more going on here, I know ID Jester made an appearance earlier, and he was interested in seeing this, I'm sure. Personally, I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think of this format. You're not going to see the game per se, but you are going to see, or you're going to see the scores. You can see the card in front of you. If you guys can see that card, since I'm getting a notice saying that it is offline. So I'm going to just kind of restart this thing, and yeah, we'll see you guys in a few. All right, it looks like we are back. So as you can see the card in front of you, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go back to the top slide so you guys can see all the scores from week 1. So as you can see, Thursday Night Football week 2 started with San Francisco the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the 49ers 13-7. Then the Ravens beat the reigning NFC champion Vikings 12-7. Packers beat the Dolphins 34-26. Carolina over the Falcons 22-3. The Giants over Cleveland 18-14. The Lions over the Broncos 41-20. The Cardinals over the Bengals 45-17. The Titans upset the Patriots 48-40. The Jaguars beat the Bears 26-22. The Warriors beat the Cowboys 33-31. The Saints beat the Eagles 26-17. And the Steelers beat the Colts 16-15. Texans, reigning world champions, back on track after the blowout during the kickoff. I'll tell you all about that later, probably about halftime. 38-16 over the Bills, and the Chiefs over the Raiders 23-17. That brings us to today's business, and that is going to be our showdown between the New York Jets, who are 1-0, and the Seahawks, who are 1-0 as well. And if you watch, we kind of talk about what's at stake with all these teams later on. Oh, no, that's the Audacity file. I want the show for the slideshow that I prepared for you guys. Sorry, guys. This new format. Still getting used to a little bit of it. And there it is. Okay. All right. And I think we are finally ready to go. So without further ado, I present to you the game, Sunday Night Football, Week 2, New York Jets at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not going to be live calling the game, so I will be in the chat to kind of talk to you guys and answer any questions you guys may have about this format. So away we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CenturyLink Field for Sunday Night Football. It's a beautiful 70-degree day as the hometown Seattle Seahawks, who are currently 1-0, take on the New York Jets, who are also 1-0 coming into this. And a lot of things, meaning a lot of different situations for this game. Right now, the Chargers lead the AFC West. However, Seattle will have to wait to see what the Chargers do on Monday Night Football later. They currently have a record of 1-0 with a point differential of 19. However, in the East, it's very interesting. Only 2 teams won their first game of the year last year, and that was New England and the Jets. And surprise, surprise, the Pats go down to the Tennessee Titans. Final score there, 48-40 Titans. So the Jets have a chance with a win here to take the outright lead of the AFC East. So this was a very good game and a very big game for both teams. Seattle won the toss and they have elected to kick off. And we're getting ready to go. Blair Walsh, now the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks, replacing the longtime kicker, Stephen Hauschka. Walsh getting ready to kick off to a sold-out crowd here in Seattle, and it's returned by Whitehead. Takes it from the goal line, and he's brought down behind the 20. The 19 is where you're going to score it, so it's 1st and 10 from the New York Jets 19, and Josh McCown, the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. 1st and 10, Seattle 19. McCown, shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. McCown showing pass, back to pass, throws, caught by Kirsch, who is making his return to Seattle after being traded right before the season start. He makes the catch at the 29 and gets it all the way to the 33. So Jermaine Kirsch's first catch on primetime football as a Jet is in his hometown of Seattle. Richard Sherman, the man with the tackle. So that'll now make it 1st and 10 from the New York 33. Jets coming out. Going to have McCown under center in the I formation. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Matt Forte in the backfield. Hands off to Forte. Forte goes straight through, but he's met after a gain of 1. Offensive line, Beecham, Carpenter, Johnson, Winters, and Aljaya for the Jets. Backs and receivers, Jermaine Kirsch, Swan, Matt Forte, and Leggett. 2nd and 9 from the New York 34. 8 minutes here for the quarters of the NFL play along, and it's 6:48 and counting as McCown drops back to pass, throws a short pass to Anderson. Caught at the 40, across the 50, makes a spin move, finally brought down by Cam Chancellor at the Seattle 47. An 18-yard gain on the play, and now we go 1st and 10 from Seattle territory, the 47 to be exact. Cam Chancellor, the first time we've called his name this season here on Sunday Night Football. Huge game here for both teams, as we mentioned at the top of the show. And Jets break the huddle. McGowan under center. Forte in the backfield, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Drops back to pass, handoff to Forte. Forte goes straight ahead, gets a gain of about 3 on the play, brought down by Michael Bennett. Bennett, McDowell, Reed, and Richardson, the defensive line for Seattle with Garvin, Wagner, and Wright. The linebackers with Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Deshaun Shedd, and Earl Thomas III making up the backfield. That Legion of Boom. 2nd and 6 from the Seattle 43. Shotgun formation flanked by Forte, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. McGowan back to pass, throws, gets Anderson. Anderson makes the catch about the 44-yard line and is shoved back to the 46. Earl Thomas III read the coverage beautifully, and he hits him for a loss. 3rd and 9 from the 46. And the defense chant going out here from the Seattle faithful. Shotgun formation, split backs, back to pass, throws, and it's nearly picked off by Jermaine Kirsch. And that's going to make it 4th and 9. Are intended for Kirsch, nearly picked off by Deshaun Shedd. 4th and 9 from the Seattle 46. Here comes the punter for New York. Edwards puts this one high. It's going to be caught at about the 11, and for the fair catch. Here comes Russell Wilson, hoping to get a 2nd Super Bowl ring this year. Of course, got his first back in 2013 when they won Super Bowl 48. And then, of course, the blunder in Super 49. Wilson under center, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hands off to Lacey from the backfield. Lacey goes straight ahead, met by a wall. Torben, Jockle, Britt, Ambushi, and Affetti are the offensive line for the Hawks. Baldwin, Reese, Lacey, Graham, and Lockett, the backs and receivers for Russell Wilson. 2nd and 9, so only a gain of 1 on that play, and they go now from the Seattle 13. Wilson under center, 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now he calls an audible, shifts into shotgun formation, sends Graham in motion, and Wilson breaks 1 tackle in the backfield. He tucks it and runs, and he's finally brought down just shy of the 15, so I believe it's the 14. Wilkerson, McClendon, and Williams, the starting front for the Jets. Jenkins, Davis, and Lee and Murphy are the linebackers with the secondary. Claiborne, May, Adams, and Screen. So a gain of 3 on the play, and it's now 3rd and 6 from the Seattle 15. Wilson, shotgun formation, flanked by Lacey, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Wilson back to pass. He's got Richardson open, throws to Richardson, and it's caught. And he didn't keep his feet in bounds, so it'll be an interception or an incomplete pass. So 4th and 6 from the Seattle 15. And now Paul Ryan, the longtime Seattle Seahawk, will come on to punt it from deep in his own territory. Should be great field position for the Jets. 3:44 and counting left in the game. Ryan punts this one high. Sorry, left in the quarter. Caught by Whitehead. Whitehead takes across the 50. Gets brought down in Seattle territory at the 45. So the Jets trying to come out of here with an upset win and a chance to take sole possession of the lead of the AFC East. McGowan under center, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, drops back to pass. All sorts of coverage, throws deep. Pass was intended for Kirsch, but it's incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Cam Chancellor, beautiful coverage on that play. So McCowan breaks the huddle, and now here we go again. McCowan, shotgun formation, flanked by Forte. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Sends a tight end in motion from the right to the left. Back to pass goes McCowan, and he throws. Gets it to Iwanama, caught at about the 34, and that's where they'll keep him. But it's in Seattle territory once again. 1st and 10 from the 34. Uwanama makes the catch and just kind of fell down, so that's where they're going to mark it. One surprising one bit if Pete Carroll challenges it, because the ball did come pretty close to touching the ground, but they're going to let it be. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 34. 3:05 and counting left in the first quarter. Quick game so far. McCowan, shotgun formation, flanked by Forte. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. McCowan hands off to Forte. Forte goes straight through the center, drags 1 lineman, drags another, finally brought down by a wall, and they're going to credit Cam Chancellor with the tackle and a gain of 7. So that'll make it 2nd and 3. It was KJ Wright who he took with him for a long ride before Chancellor came up and made the play. 2nd and 3 from the Seattle 27. McCowan starts under center. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. One running back to Forte. Forte gets it in the back from the backfield. Gets across the first down. Good gain on there. It'll be a gain of 8. And that'll be 1st and 19, or 1st and 10 from the 19. And New York takes their first trip to the red zone. 2:05 and counting left to go in the first quarter. McCowan, shotgun formation. Got 2 running backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Tries to get the one to the right, but it's a bad throw and incomplete. Kirsch was the intended receiver on the play. Shed was the man in coverage, and that'll make it 2nd and 10 from the Seattle 19. All right, McCowan under center, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, Forte in the backfield. Swain goes in motion from the right to the left, hands off to Forte. Forte breaks to the right, gets brought down by Cam Chancellor, who came in off the blitz, and it'll be a gain of 2, 3rd and 8 from the 18. Once again, this Seattle Seahawks faithful chanting defense over and over again as McCowan goes to the shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, flanked by Forte. McCowan back to pass, throws, goes for the short pass to Anderson. Caught at the 15, across the 10, brought down at the 7, and he knocked out of bounds as well, so it'll stop the clock. 1:09 left to go in the first quarter, and it's 1st and goal from the Seattle 7. Richard Sherman, the man who eventually shoved Anderson out of bounds. So let's see if the Seahawks can put up a stand here. 1st and goal from the Seattle 7. Under center is McCowan. McCowan hands off to Forte in the backfield. Forte met in the backfield by Cam Chancellor for a loss of 3. Bobby Wagner gets an assist on the tackle as well. And it's now 2nd and goal from the 10. Great pressure there brought by that Seattle Seahawks defense with 38 seconds and counting left in the first. It'll be 1st and goal from the Seattle 10. Loss of 3 on the previous play. Now we have a shotgun formation flanked by Forte. 2 wide receivers on each side. McCowan, short pass to Forte, caught at the 10, tries to get to the 5, and he will get there, but that's about all he'll get, as he's brought down by Richard Sherman. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6, and I believe that's going to be the final play of the first quarter. And here we go. And I believe 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're at triple zeros, and that will do it. So after 1 here on Sunday Night Football, Week 2, the Seahawks and the Jets knotted up at 0. More from CenturyLink Field after this. All right, everybody. So hopefully you're enjoying the first quarter, or you enjoyed the first quarter of the NFL Play Along Week 2 Sunday Night Football matchup featuring the Jets at Seattle. Score is 0-0, but the Jets look like they're knocking on the door. If you're out there and you're watching this live, or welcome back to beautiful Seattle, Washington, CenturyLink Field, the field of battle for Sunday Night Football Week 2 of the NFL Play Along. Score is 0-0. Actually, I'm just going to pause that audio real fast. I'd really like to hear your feedback on the new format. This is not the way it's going to be for forever. So if you're watching it on demand, comment. If you're out there, get involved in the chat room. I'll be keeping an eye on that while updating the slides. This is just the way I'm going to do it until I have the equipment to record the gameplay as part of the live streams. So if you could just let us know what you think of this, maybe some improvements. I didn't want to leave it with just a black screen and a recording. I wanted to give you guys the score, the quarter, stuff like that. I've got a few of these slideshows already done. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think of this, and we will see you at halftime. If you're just joining us as we get started here at the second quarter, but the ball is on the Seattle 5, and it's 3rd and goal. Seattle Seahawks crowd chanting defense like they've been doing all night. The one drive that Seattle had, it was a 3 and out. So this defense has been on the field for a while, and they're looking to stop it. McGowan from the shotgun formation, dropping back to pass, throws. Anderson caught at the 3, walks into the end zone, and that's going to be the first touchdown of this one. And it's 6-0 New York. Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner, they were all chasing him for about 3 yards. But there was no way they could get to him, and surprise, surprise, the Jets strike first. And Jermaine Kirsch's return to Seattle. And now here comes the extra point. Kick is up, and it is going to go straight through, and it is now 7-0. So Anderson, tonight 4 receptions for 32 yards and the touchdown. Robbie Anderson. And now Russell Wilson knows he has to get something going for this Seattle Seahawks offense. Lockett in the backfield to receive the kick. Kick is up, and it's high. End over end. Caught by Lacey this time at the 3. 3 across the 20. Tries to get to the 25. And they're going to mark him at the 25. So shorter kick than anticipated, returned by Lacey, and it's 1st and 10 from the Seattle 25, 7:52 to go. Total yards, 82 for New York, only 3 for Seattle. Wilson under center, Lacey in the backfield, 2 wide receivers, 1 on each end, hands off to Lacey. Lacey tries to get something, and he will. He gets a gain of about 3. Brought down at the 28. So it'll be 2nd and 7 from the Seattle 28. 7.5 minutes left to go in the first half. If Seattle can't get something going, the Jets may run away with this one. Under center is Wilson, same formation, 2 wide receivers, 1 on each end, with Lacey in the backfield. Wilson hands off to Lacey. Lacey gets hit in the backfield, but he pushes through and gets back on his feet. Runs it all the way to the 31. Brought down by Muhammad Wilkerson, his 2nd tackle of the night, and that'll make it 2nd and 5. Wilkerson was the guy who'd met him in the backfield. Somehow he kind of stayed on his feet after taking the hit from Lacey, and then rebounded to keep it from being a big gain, only a gain of 2. So 3rd and 5 from the Seattle 31. Wilson in the backfield, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. It looks like we're going to get our first pass, throws, and it's nearly picked off. Screen, jumped the route, had the ball in his hands, and dropped it. Kind of a bad throw by Russell Wilson, because it would have landed. It pretty much hit Screen right in the numbers. All Screen had to do is keep his hands on it, and that's another 3 and out for Seattle. So it's now going to be 4th and 5. Ryan will punt it from the Seattle 31. 6:41 left in the second quarter. Ryan punts this one well. Caught by Lucky Whitehead. Whitehead gets across makes the catch at about, we'll say the 33, makes it across the 35, brought down at the 39. 6:33 left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 from the New York 39. McCowan under center, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Forte in the backfield, hands off to Forte. Forte gets a gain of about 2 on the play. Brought down by multiple Seahawks. One of them, Mike McDowell, his first tackle of the day. And it's now 2nd and 8 from the New York 41. Shotgun formation, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, flanked by Forte. Sends a man in motion, so now we have 3 to the right, 1 to the left. McGowan hands off to Forte. Forte goes straight ahead and is met by a wall of blue and brought down by Sean Richardson, his first tackle of the game, for a loss of 2 on the play, and it's now 3rd and 11. They'll start from their own 38. Passing down here. McGowan under center. 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right, drops back to pass. And he's hit in the backfield. Huge sack by Earl Thomas III for a loss of 9. Pushes them back all the way to the New York 29. Thomas on the blitz. Nobody picked him up and just leveled A.J. McCowan. Loss of 9 on the play. And that'll now make it 4th and 20. So a 3 and out for New York. So Seattle will get the ball, and we'll see if they can get some offense going. 5 minutes and counting left in the second quarter. Edwards punts this one high, end over end. Caught by Lockett. Lockett makes a catch at the 35, across the 40. Almost gets to the 50, brought down at the 49. Tyler Lockett. He's become the #1 wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks offense and is electric on special teams. Wilson goes at it from the shotgun formation. 1 wide receiver to the right, 3 to the left. Hands off to Lacey, who's in the backfield. Lacey's going to get hit after a gain of 1. Daniel Lee with the tackle. And it is now 2nd and 11 from the Seattle 48. 4.5 minutes and counting left to go in this first half. Sunday Night Football NFL Play Along Week 2. Wilson under center, split wide receivers, Lacey in the backfield. Wilson looking to pass, goes for the short one, caught by Lockett at the 45 of New York, but he dropped it. Dropped on contact. So it'll now be 3rd and 11. .408 is when the clock stopped, and we'll go again. This time Wilson under center, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now he sends Jimmy Graham from the left to the right. He was originally lined up as a blocker to become a receiver. Wilson trying to drop back to throw. Pockets collapsing. And Landon Maldine, the 4th, makes the sack. Loss of 6 on the play. Puts them all the way back to the Seattle 42, and it's 4th and 17. Maldon gets right past the left guard and just meets Wilson as he's trying to throw it. It hit him from the back, so he's lucky he held on to it. 4th and 17 from their own 42. John Ryan out to punt it. 3:35 left to go. Ryan punts this one high. Really high kick, really far kick. Caught by Whitehead at the 15, across the 20. Tries to get to the 30, but he's brought down at the 29. So it'll be 1st and 10, 3:26 left to go from the New York 29. McCowan under center, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Forte in the backfield. McGowan fakes the pass, hand off to Forte. Forte's got a hold. He's across the 30, across the 35, brought down at the 37. Gain of 8 on the play, and that'll be 2nd and 2. And he was met by Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor to make that tackle. So a group effort, and each of them will get credited with half a tackle. 2nd and 2 from the New York 37. McGowan, shotgun formation. 2 to the left, 1 to the right, flanked by Forte. Sends Jermaine Kirsch from the left in motion. Back to pass. Throwing deep, fires, caught by Anderson. Robbie Anderson makes the catch at about the Seattle 47. Takes it all the way to the 44. So it'll now be 1st and 10 from the Seattle 44. And the New York Jets offense starting to roll. Tackle was eventually made by Earl Thomas in the backfield. Or in the secondary, sorry. Jeremy Lane was on the coverage, but he couldn't keep up with Robbie Anderson. Hardly anyone has tonight. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 44. McCowan in the shotgun, or in the under center. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Forte in the backfield. Hands off to Forte. Forte has a hole, but it's clogged up quickly by Seattle, so he dives to try to get a gain, and he does. A gain of 3 on the play. Michael McDowell with his tackle. And that's going to be the 2-minute warning here in Seattle. So with 2 minutes left in the first half, it's the Jets 7, Seattle nothing. Once again, just to let you know what's at stake, if the Jets win this game, they will have sole possession of the lead in the AFC East Division. And if Seattle wins this one, they'll have to wait to see what the Chargers do against the Rams tomorrow night. Shotgun formation for McCowan. McCowan back to pass, throwing deep, and it's incomplete. Intended for Kirsch, but Chancellor got his paw on it. Cam Chancellor has been all over the field tonight, but you don't expect anything else from that. 3rd and 7 from the Seattle 40. McCowan under center, 4 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. McCowan back to pass, throws, finds Jermaine Kirsch, who makes the catch at the 43. Or sorry, that would be the 38. My bad. I'm going the wrong way in my head. So he makes the catch, a diving one-handed catch, spectacular play. At the 35 is where they're going to score it. So it's 4th and 2. It'll be a long field goal. Kick is up, and it is good. So it's 10-0. And Catanzaro, who was with the Cardinals last year, makes good and gets a long kick this time. 10-0 New York. 1:10 left to go in the first quarter. Tyler Lockett to receive the kick. Chandler Catanzaro, the former Arizona Cardinal, kicks this one high end over end. Caught in the end zone by Lockett. Lockett across the 10, across the 20, and he's not going to make it to the 25 as he's spun and twirled and brought down at the 23. So 1st and 10 from the Seattle 23. Russell Wilson, shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Back to pass. Pockets collapsing, gets rid of it, gets it to Richardson, who makes the catch at the 40. Runs it all the way to the 48 and is finally brought down. And timeout called by Seattle. It'll be on the Seattle 48. 1 minute remaining. And Paul Richardson, the wide receiver, makes a play that the Seahawks badly needed. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 48. Knocking on New York territory for the first time today. Matter of fact, that probably almost doubles their yards for tonight. Wilson, shotgun formation. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Lacey flanking him. Back to pass goes Wilson. Wilson fires deep. Intended for Paul Richardson again, but the pass is broken up. Good play there by Adams, the cornerback for the Jets, who breaks that pass up, and that could have been a game-breaking play there. 2nd and 10 from the Seattle 48. 57 seconds left to go. 2 timeouts for Seattle, 3 for New York. New York leads 10-0. Shotgun formation for Wilson, flanked by Lacey. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, or to the left. Wilson fires, gets it to Eddie Lacy. Lacy across the 40, all the way to the 30. And another timeout called by Seattle. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30, and Seattle's looking to cut this deficit down because they do get the ball at the beginning of the second half. This is the first time we've really seen any offense from Seattle tonight. And Russell Wilson will now come back out. He's got 50 seconds and 1 timeout. 29 yards to go. 1st and 10 from the New York 29. It'll be interesting to see if Seattle decides to take their chances with the run or go with the pass. We'll find out in a minute. Shotgun formation for Wilson, flanked by Lacey. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Wilson dropping back to pass. Good block picked up by the offensive line. Goes for the short pass intended for Richardson. Off balance as he threw it, but it goes out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the New York 29 with 46 seconds left to go. If they had to kick a field goal here, it would be a 44-yard attempt. Wilson, shotgun formation flanked by Lacey. 1 to the right, 2 to the left. Wilson dropping back to pass. Throws deep, going for the end zone. Picked off. Pass is intercepted at the end zone. Michael May gets the interception in the end zone. 39 seconds left to go in the first half. 10-0 New York, and New York just made a huge play on defense. Wilson threw with one of the linemen for the Jets right in his face, and May, who was on coverage for Lockett, who the pass was intended to in the end zone, makes the play to pick that pass off. He's tackled in the end zone by Jimmy Graham. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the New York 20 with 39 seconds to go in the first half. Shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. McCowan back to pass. Throws. Goes for the short pass. Intended for Forte. Broken up by KJ Wright. 35 seconds left to go, and it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the New York 20. Score is 10-0 the Jets. 35 seconds remaining. Only in the first half, New York will be kicking the ball away to begin the third quarter. McCowan under center. Split wide receivers with Forte in the backfield. McCowan hands off to Forte. Forte has a hole, gets across the 25. Brought down at the 26. Gain of 6 on the play. TJ Garvin makes the tackle for Seattle. 3rd and 4 from the 26 of New York. 18 seconds and counting left in the first half. McCowan under center, strong eye formation. 3, 2, and he gets the payoff. Hands off to Powell. Powell crossed the 30 and finally brought down at the 37 by Cam Chancellor, his 4th tackle of the night, and that will end the first half. So halfway through this one, it is 10-0. The Jets shutting down and shutting out the Seattle Seahawks. They had a good drive going, only to be intercepted by Michael May in the end zone. We'll see what the offense of the Seahawks can do after this. And we are live here at the EO Sports League station. Once again, this is a pre-recorded game. I'm trying to let you guys know that. This is a pre-recorded game, not a live NFL game. This is brought to you via Madden 18. Score at the half, 10-0 New York. And things are not going great for the Seahawks. They're in a little bit of trouble. And we welcome you back here to CenturyLink Stadium. And we go back to Century. Here in beautiful Seattle, Washington for Sunday Night Football, Week 2. The battle of 1-0 teams. But the surprise is the Jets are winning this one. 10-0. Catanzaro, the Jets kicker, will kick this one off. to Seattle to kick off the third quarter. Caught by Lockett at the goal line, cross the 10, 15-20, tries to get to the 25, met by a wall of white and green. And it's 1st and 10 from the Seattle 24. Wilson, shotgun formation flanked by Lacey. Tight formation, 2 wide receivers on each side. Wilson dropping back to pass, throws, goes for the short one to McAvoy. And that'll be a gain of only 3 on the play. Williams with the tackle. And Wilson right now is struggling trying to find something. So these short passes might be to help build his confidence up a little bit more. So 2nd and 7 from the Seattle 27. 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Wilson, shotgun formation flanked by Lacey. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, hands off to Lacey. Lacey has the hole, goes straight ahead, gets the first down, brought down at the 34. A gain of 8 on the play. Sam McClendon makes the tackle for the Jets. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 34, thanks to the 8-yard run by Eddie Lacey. Wilson, pistol formation, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Lacey in the backfield. Hands off to Lacey. Lacey gets a hold, breaks off to the right, breaks 1 tackle, doesn't break another. And he'll get a gain of 3 on the play. Tackle made by Morris Claiborne, the first time we've called his name tonight. Eddie Lacey, the new running back for the Seattle Seahawks, spent most of his career with the Green Bay Packers. Gets a 3-yard gain, makes it 2nd and 7 from the Seattle 37. 6:19 and counting left to go. Shotgun formation flanked by Lacey, 2 wide receivers on each end. Wilson dropping back to pass. Good coverage. Short pass to Lacey, caught at the 44, crossed the 45. Brought down at the 46 for the first down. Davis made the tackle for the Jets. And it's now 1st and 10 from the 46. 6 minutes and counting left in the third quarter. 10-0 the score in favor of the Jets. Shotgun formation for Wilson. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2 running backs in the backfield. Wilson, hands off, fakes the handoff to Lacey. He's going to run in himself, tucks it, goes to the left, cross the first down, cross the 35, 30, 25, 20. Shoved out of bounds at the 18. A 38-yard rush for Russell Wilson. And that's going to inject some life into this Seattle Seahawks offense. That's one thing that nobody in the game does better than him is run that read option. He looked like he was going to hand it off to Lacey, but he kept it himself, tucked it, broke off to the left, found the sideline, and got inside the red zone. 2nd and 10 from the New York 18. 5:26 and counting left to go. In the third quarter, that is. Pistol formation. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Lacey in the backfield. Wilson dropping back to pass. Good block by Lacey. Tries to get it to Jimmy Graham, but it's a bad pass behind him. And that'll be 2nd and 10. Clock stops at 5:17. They break the huddle, and Wilson's going to be in the shotgun formation, flanked by Lacey. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Wilson keeps it himself, goes across, gets inside the 10. And they will call it the 9. Michael May, the man who intercepted him in the end zone, is the man that makes the tackle, and it's 3rd and 1 on the 9. Wilson ran that read option again. This time, decided to keep it, go straight ahead, and gets inside the 10. Under center, split backs, and runs the jet sweep to Lockett. Lockett goes around, tries to get a gain, and he does. It'll be a gain of 2 to make it 1st and goal from the New York 7. .426 and counting left in the 3rd quarter. 1st and goal from the New York 7. Shotgun formation flanked by Lacey, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Wilson dropping back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. He doesn't have anyone, so he tucks it and decides to go for himself. And he loses a yard, so it'll actually go down as a sack for Janoris Jenkins, and it's 2nd and goal from the 8. Tried to find someone, tried to scramble around the pocket, and it just didn't work out. 2nd and goal from the 8, 3.5 minutes, or sorry, 3.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Wilson under center, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, Lacey in the backfield. Wilson back to pass, hands off to Lacey. Lacey goes straight ahead, and he's met in the backfield by Jeffrey Burgess for his 1st tackle. And it's 3rd and goal, a loss of 1 on that play as well, so they'll take it from the New York 9. Three and a half minutes to go. And clock is still ticking. They may not get this play off in the 3-minute mark. Pistol formation, Lacey in the backfield, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Wilson back to pass, tucks it, he's going to go himself. Breaks 1 tackle, gets across the 10, but he's brought down, and it'll make it 4th and goal, and they're going to mark it at the 10. So Blair Walsh is going to have to come in and go for a 25-yard field goal attempt to make this a 7-point game. The Seattle Seahawks offense is having trouble finding the end zone. They've got to figure something out. Walsh gets the kick up, and it is good straight through the uprights, and it's 10-3 New York. So Seattle's finally on the board. It took them almost 3 quarters to do it, but this crowd, as you can hear, is into this now. 2:31 left in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time for Seattle to tie this one up and take the lead. Walsh kicks this one high. Caught by Marshall inside the 5. Cross the 20, cross the 25. Brought down at the 30. So 1st and 10 from the New York 29. So they marked him back a yard. And now McCowan, A.J. McCowan, shotgun formation, flanked by Matt Forte, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. McCowan hands off to Forte. Forte finds a hole, goes straight through, gain of about 2, but the rest of the hole was clogged by Cam Chancellor. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 27. That could have been a big play, but Cam Chancellor saw the hole, clogged it, and ended that. McCowan from the shotgun formation. Dropping back to pass, goes short to Powell. Powell across the 30. Tries to get to the 35. And it's going to be a gain of 4 on the play. Richard Sherman makes the tackle, and it's now 3rd and 4. Looks like they're going to mark him about the 34 as well. Third and 4 from the 35. So they did give him the 35 spot. 1:26 left in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun formation, empty backfield. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. McCowan dropping back to pass. Throws it to Liggett. Liggett makes the catch at the 41 and is brought down right then and there. 1st and 10, Bobby Wagner with the tackle, and it's going to be from the New York 41 with a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter. Leggett somehow, some way got open in that crowded Seattle Seahawks secondary. And here we go. Less than a minute to go, 55 and counting in the third. Split backs. Two wide receivers to the right, one to the left. McCown from the shotgun formation. Hands off to Forte. Forte finds a hole. Gets in across the 45. Or sorry, 35. No, 45, I was right. Brought down at the 50, and it's going to be 2nd and 2. Less than 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Shotgun formation flanked by Forte. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Forte dropping back, or McGowan dropping back to pass. Going for Forte, who makes the catch. But he didn't get his feet in the end zone, so it's going to be 3rd and 2 from the 50. Cam Chancellor again on the coverage. And you can hear the Seattle Seahawks fans chanting defense again. 3rd and 2, if they can make a stand here, get the ball back before the fourth quarter to tie it up. Hand off to Forte. Forte gets across the 50 and into first down. Brought down at the Seattle 46. Gerard Smith makes his first tackle of the game for Seattle, and that'll end the third quarter. So with only 8 more minutes left to go of playtime, it is 10-3. The Jets upsetting the Seahawks here in the Pacific Northwest. More when we come back after this. And we welcome you back to the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington for the fourth quarter of Week 2 of Sunday Night Football, the 2017 NFL Play-Along. Last year's AFC number 2 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, currently trailing to a team that didn't even make the playoffs and wasn't even in the discussion. The New York Jets trail 10-3 with 8 minutes left to go in the game. New York also has the ball in Seattle territory on the 46 to be exact. And it begins with a pistol formation, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Forte in the backfield, hands off to Forte. Forte met by a wall of Seattle Seahawks, and it's a gain of 1. 150 total yards for the Jets. KJ Wright makes his 3rd tackle of the game. KJ Wright also had to wrap his hand around a blocker to get to him. So very athletic move by him. 7:36 and counting left to go in the game. Shotgun formation, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, flanked by Forte. Hands off to Forte. Forte gets across the 45, across the 40. Almost makes it to the first down. Brought down after a gain of 8 at the Seattle 38. Jeremy Lane with his first tackle of the game. And you can hear the Seattle Seahawks fans chanting defense. Only a 7-point game. They know they're in it. McCown passes to Forte. Forte didn't get across the first down. It's going to be 4th and inches. They stopped him at the Seattle 36. And Bobby Wagner with the tackle. Catanzaro will come on for a 51-yard field goal. Kick is up, and it is good. So it's now a 10-point game once again. 6:19 left to go. Chandler Catanzaro, who could not hit a field goal to save his life last year when he was in a Arizona Cardinals uniform, go figure, is all of a sudden lights out when he's in the green and white of the New York Jets. Fourth quarter, 6:19 left to go. 13-3, New York the score over the Seattle Seahawks. Catanzaro kicks this one high. Caught by Lacey at the 5, across the 20. Tries to get to the 25, and I think he got there. And he did, so they will mark him at the 25. 6:14 left to go, and Lacey is slow to get up. 160 total yards for New York. 115 for the Seahawks. Wilson, shotgun formation, flanked by Lacey. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, back to pass. And he's in trouble, throws deep, fires, and it's intercepted. Pass is intercepted at the 30-yard line across the 50. All the way into Seattle territory. Pass was intended for Paul Richardson. Trying to figure out who made the interception, and it is Adams for the Jets. Intended for Paul Richardson. Adams makes the catch over at the 31 and brings it all the way to the Seattle 45. Shotgun formation for the Jets. McCowan flanked by Forte. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. McCowan, good coverage, and he's going to try to tuck it and run, but he won't get anywhere. Drop for a loss of 3. Michael Bennett, his second sack or second tackle of the game. A 10-point game, around 6 minutes left to go. I can't believe what I'm about to say, but I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to go down to the New York Jets. 5:47 and counting. Ball is in Seattle territory, the 48 to be exact. Under center, 2 to the left, 1 to the right with Forte in the backfield. McCowan is going to pass. Throws, he had a man right in his face. Caught by Kirsch at the 35. Brought down immediately by Richard Sherman. He didn't get the first down. They're going to say it's 3rd and inches, so a chance for Seattle to stand up here, but they're still in field goal territory. Deep field goal territory, but field goal territory nonetheless. Richard Sherman bringing down his old friend Jermaine Kirsch for the Jets. 3rd and inches from the Seattle 35. 5:06 and counting left to go in the game. Big play here for Seattle. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Forte in the backfield. McCowan dropping back to pass. Throws. Caught by Kirsch at the 30. Brought down at the 25. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Jets. 68.4 completion percentage for McCowan. 33.2 for Russell Wilson. A.J. McCowan has outplayed Russell Wilson, and it's 1st and 10 from the 25. Cam Chancellor made the tackle on Jermaine Kirsch. 5:32 and counting left to go. Under center, I formation. McCowan hands off to Forte, goes in the backfield. Gain of about 2 on the play. And they're just trying to run off clock. Brought down by Michael Bennett. 2nd and 8 from the Seattle 23. And this is not deep field goal territory anymore. If they didn't gain another yard, they'd be looking at a 38-yard attempt. Shotgun formation, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, flanked by Forte. Calls on audible, sends a wide receiver from the left to the right, so goes 2-2. McCowan, short pass to Forte, and he's hit as he makes the throw. Caught at the 25, dropped at the 23. Cam Chancellor with his 6th tackle of the game. KJ Wright made the hit on McCowan as he made the throw, but it was still caught by Forte. Good pressure by the Seahawks, just a second late. 3:30 and counting left in the game. Ball is on the Seattle 23, 3rd and 8. Big play here. Shotgun formation, split backs in the backfield. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. McCowan dropping back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, throws. Tried to get Jermaine Kirsch in the end zone, but Earl Thomas on the coverage. But that's not why he missed it. He flat out overthrew him in the end zone, and it'll be 4th and 8. So it'll be a 48-yard field goal attempt for Chandler Catanzaro. Sorry, a 38-yard field goal attempt. Catanzaro has been lights out tonight. See if he can do it again. Kick is up, and it is going straight through the uprights. No problem, and it's 16-3, a 13-point lead for the Jets. Turning into a blowout here. 3:08 left to go. Seattle's going to have to do something great here on Sunday Night Football. Canzaro kicks this one end over end. Caught by Lockett inside the 5. Gets across the 20. He's got a hole. Gets across the 25. Brought down at the 35. And we have a flag. Or sorry, at the 27. And there's a flag on the play. This is probably coming back. And it's going to be on Seattle. Most always flags during kickoffs are on the returning team. Let's see what this is. And it'll be personal foul clipping against Nick Vanette, the tight end of Seattle. So that'll negate all of that, and they will start from their own 13 now. 3:04 left to go. Wilson, shotgun formation. 2 to the left, 1 to the right, flanked by Lacey. Now he sends a tight end to the left. Graham passes over to Doug Baldwin, who makes the catch at about the 18, takes it to the 21. And that'll be second and 2 on the Seattle 21. Doug Baldwin hit by Adams to make that tackle. So it'll be second and 2. 2:30 and counting left to go from their own 21. Wilson, pistol formation. Lacey behind him. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Wilson dropping back to pass. Short pass to Jimmy Graham. Caught at the 35 for the first down. Or at the 25 for the first down. And a gain of 4 on the play. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 25. Now's not the time for these short passes. You're down by 13 points. You've got to take big chunks of yardage fast. 2:14 and counting left to go. 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning for Seattle. Wilson, 2:03, 2:02 under center, and it looks like we're going to get our 2-minute warning right now. So with 2 minutes left to go, score is 16-3. The Jets shocking the Seahawks here in Seattle on Sunday Night Football. More from this when we return. And we welcome you back after that short break. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 16-3 in favor of New York. Wilson from the gun, dropping back to pass. Good coverage, going deep, fires, and it's almost intercepted by May. Intended. Michael May almost picks that off. Intended for Doug Baldwin. Baldwin, had he caught that, he would have caught it about the New York 40. Pass broken up by Michael May. Clock stops at 1:55. 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Wilson, shotgun formation, flanked by Lacey. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Wilson dropping back to pass. Good protection, throwing deep, wide open to Paul Richardson. Across the 50, 45, 40, 35, and shoved out of bounds at the 31. Clock stops at 1:46. A huge passing play to Paul Richardson. And they're in New York territory, the 31 to be exact. Richardson made that catch wide open. Shook screen off his cover man and made him pay for it with a big gain. .146 left to go. All 3 timeouts for Seattle. 1st and 10 from the New York 31. Wilson, shotgun formation, to the left, to the right, flanked by Lacey. Wilson back to pass. Good coverage, going deep, wide open to Doug Baldwin. Across the 20, across the 5, 15, 10, brought down at the 6. And they're going in the hurry up. 1:35 and counting left to go. Tight formation, to the left, to the right. Wilson, gun formation, fires it for the end zone. Caught by McAvoy, touchdown. And the Seattle Seahawks are an extra point away from making it a 1-possession game with 1:29 left to go. And they've got all 3 timeouts remaining too, so They're actually in pretty good shape, considering their defense has done a decent job shutting down the Jets. And this crowd is getting loud. McAvoy, that's only a second time we've called him, but it couldn't have been bigger. Blair Walsh to make this a 6-point game. Kick is up, and it is straight through the uprights. Tanner McAvoy, 2 receptions for 9 yards, but that touchdown is going to be big. 1:29 left to go. 6-point game, 16-10. Looks like they are going for the onside kick. Here we go. Kick is up, and it's going to be taken by New York. Uneva makes the catch and takes it out at the Seattle 40. So with 1:27 left to go, Seattle still has 3 timeouts. It's not over yet. With those 3 timeouts, Seattle can stop the clock. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right from the gun. Hands off to Forte. Forte goes straight ahead, brought down after a gain of 4. Timeout called by Seattle. And they're trying to get that ball back with some time. 1:23 left to go. Ball is on the Seattle 36. So even if they were to make the play here, the chance of Chandler Catanzaro booting a field goal through to make it a 9-point game is pretty good. So honestly, I don't know if I'd have gone for the onside kick. I probably would have kicked it a little bit deeper and tried to pin them deep in their own territory and then got the punt. Because with your 3 timeouts, you can stop the clock plenty of times. Second and 6 from the Seattle 36. New York has the ball. They lead 16-10 over Seattle. Under center, I formation, hands off to Forte. Forte brought down, no gain on the play. Matter of fact, he'll lose a yard in another timeout called by Seattle. 1:19 left to go. 1 timeout remaining for Seattle, and it's 3rd and 5. See what I mean? If you could have just gotten 3 stops, called a timeout, if they were in their own territory, they'd be punting you the ball back if this works with about a minute left. So people will be Monday morning quarterbacking that call to do the onside kick with all 3 timeouts and kind of plenty of time left. So we'll see if this bites them in the butt. They need to get a loss because at 36, they'd be looking at a 51-yard field goal attempt if they didn't gain another yard. 1:19 left to go. Shotgun formation, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Forte flanking him. Sends a man in motion, makes it 2 on each side. McGowan looking for the pass, throws it, and it is knocked down. Deshaun Shedd knocks the pass down in the end zone, and it's 4th and 5. And the clock stops as well. So the Jets going for the touchdown to put them away. It backfires. Deshaun Shedd makes the play, knocks the pass down in the end zone, and it's now 4th and 5 from the 36. Minute 14 left to go. Catanzaro to put this one away. Long field goal attempts. Kick is up, and it is good. So it's now a 9-point game with a minute 10 left to go. Once again, if you would have done the deep kick, there's a chance that you could have stopped them deep in their own end zone, and that would have been a punt you're looking at getting instead of a field goal. Well, let's see what the Seattle Seahawks have in store. A minute 10 left to go, down by 9. Seattle still has 1 timeout, too, thanks to the incomplete pass. Catanzaro kicks this one high. Caught by Lockett at the 5, cross the 10, 20. He's got a hole, cross the 30, 35, 40, 50. Oh my goodness, he could go all the way. Finally knocked down at the Seattle 32. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Seahawks. 1:02 left to go in the game. A timeout. You're down by 9. Wilson, shotgun formation. To the left, to the right. Flanked by Lacey. Wilson, good protection. Going deep, fires. And it's intercepted by Morris Claiborne. Picked off at the 5, and that's going to do it here. So another interception thrown by Russell Wilson cost them the game. Claiborne picks off the pass that was intended for Doug Baldwin. Russell Wilson threw into double coverage. I don't know why, but that's pretty well going to ice this one. 56 seconds left to go. They'll have the ball on their own 9. I formation for the Jets. This plays just to get the clock started. Hands off to Forte. Forte, gain of 2 on the play, and Seattle take their final timeout. That's kind of been the story for Seattle. They've had 2 touchdown drives taken away by interceptions. There was the one in the end zone, and then one where they looked like they were cruising, and then that was picked off in the middle of the field, and now this one picked off at the 9. 53 seconds left to go. 2nd and 8. Seattle's out of timeouts, and I think this is pretty well going to be it. Score is New York Jets 19, Seattle Seahawks 10. The Jets, barring the most miraculous of miracles, are going to be the lone leaders of the AFC East here in the 2017 NFL Play-Along. Strong eye formation for the Jets. Hand off to Forte. Forte has a hole, cross the 10, 15. Brought down at the 17, and the clock still ticks. 45 seconds left to go. 3rd and 2. With this win, New York will go to 2-0 with a point differential of 26 as they go into victory formation. 10 seconds left, kneels it, and that will do it. And the New York Jets are going to be successful getting a road win from one of the Super Bowl favorites. Final score, New York 19, Seattle 10. Surprised here. I think what surprised me the most was how much Russell Wilson struggled against this defense. And the crowd here is not happy about this performance. Jamal Adams, the free safety with 3 tackles and an interception, is your player of the game. New York now moves to 2-0 with a point differential of 26. Seattle goes to 1-1 with a point differential of 10. And now that tees up the Chargers perfectly to take a pretty commanding lead in the AFC West should they win the Battle of Los Angeles tomorrow night. Monday Night Football tomorrow night will be the Los Angeles Rams at the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of those teams are 1-0. The Rams are at 1-0, point differential of 29. And the Chargers, and the Rams are 1-0 at a point differential at 11. Once again, our final score here from Seattle, the Jets 19, the Seattle Seahawks 10. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you on Monday Night Football in the City of Angels. Thank you, and have a good night.